Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, Chapter 21, entitled Conversation between Manu and Kardama. Text number 40. Punyadrumalata jalai Kujat Punyamrugad Vijay Sarvartu Phala Pushpadhyam Vanaraji Shriyanvitam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The shore of the lake was surrounded by clusters of pious trees and creepers, rich in fruits and flowers of all seasons that afforded shelter to pious animals and birds, which uttered various cries. It was adorned by the beauty of groves of forest trees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is stated here that Bindu Sarovara was surrounded by pious trees and birds. As there are different classes of men in human society, some pious and virtuous, and some impious and sinful, so also among trees and birds there are the pious and the impious. Trees which do not bear nice fruit or flowers are considered impious, and birds which are very nasty, such as crows, are considered impious. In the land surrounding Bindu Sarovara, there was not a single impious bird or tree. Every tree bore fruits and flowers, and every bird sang the glories of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
So Bindu Sarovara, the wonderful lake, and the surrounding is being described. The surrounding consisting of pious trees, creepers, pious birds, animals, and in this way it was adorned with the beauty of groves of forest trees also. As we described in the previous verse, as it was described in the previous verse, this was a heavenly resort. Maintained by great sages. And you can see that these kind of surrounding lakes, trees, fruit trees, all these things are very pleasing environment for the mind. That is why human beings create resorts. They create in the resorts, if you see, all these things are there. Water bodies are there, fruit trees are there, creepers are there, flower trees are there, birds are there. This adds to the richness of life. All this variegatedness is created by the Lord. They add to the richness of life, richness of rasa, that can be easily experienced. Even with our own material senses, these things are all described, they are in the material world only. The only limitation is that our senses are limited and our senses are temporary. But in terms of experience, it is a pleasant experience. It may be Maya, but the experience is pleasant. That is the reason why human beings create this kind of environments. Who would not like to go and visit? Suppose we say now, let's go to Bindu Sarovara. Put a pilgrimage list. Everybody would want to go. It's a pleasant experience. This is created by material nature. In this material world, when it created for human beings, that is the work of Mahamaya. Mahamaya creates. Man's capacity or living beings, living entities' capacity to enjoy is so much. So many finer and finer varieties of enjoyments are there. Interrelationship enjoyment, that is the 5 rasas, primary rasas. But that's not the only thing. These 5 rasas are enjoyed or relished in elaborate situations, natural circumstances, natural situations. Just like you can live in a palace, you can live in a hut. You can live in a resort. Or you can live in the concrete jungle. That is another context. So the principle of pleasure has simply one sense object is a modern limited understanding of pleasure because of man's extreme grossness. Whereas in the heavenly world, the living entities are more sensitive to finer pleasures because of higher gunas. The finer pleasures of finer tastes and finer art and finer nature and all these kind of things, they are all, one has to be sensitive. If one is not sensitive, then he cannot experience that pleasure. Pleasure is experienced by senses and the mind. So one's mind has to be sensitive, one's senses have to be sensitive. Even you take a simple thing, you take tongue. Some people's tongue are very, very sensitive. They can enjoy fine sense, taste, pleasures they can enjoy. Somebody else's tongue, nothing, very gross, that's all. You give them good salt, then they're very happy. The food. So a lot of salt should be there. Very gross it is. But if your tongue is very sensitive, then very fine levels of taste you can taste. That is why this whole business, culinary business is going on in the world. Chefs and 5-star and all these things. You know, very fine things are prepared there for finer tongues. In the same way, mind also. Mind can appreciate. Its sensitivity to appreciate is different according to the situation of the mind, in what guna the mind is, etc. Anyway, all these things depend upon the karma. According to karma, you get a body, and the body has different sensitivities of enjoyment. If you don't have that, then you cannot create that. What you have to enjoy. That's all. So pleasure is everywhere in this world. Everywhere in this world there is pleasure. Impersonally say, okay, you start seeing that there is no pleasure in this world. Why? Because everything is temporary. An atheist will challenge. He will say, what is wrong? Temporary is there, no? You guys are foolish. You are saying it's all temporary, therefore there is no pleasure, you are saying. I am saying also that there is no permanent pleasure, but there is temporary pleasure. Let me enjoy. What is wrong with this philosophy? The impersonalist philosophy can never answer this question. Whereas Vaishnavas can answer this question. You are deprived of, yes, in absolute world, in absolute sense, there is pleasure. Why in absolute sense, absolute? Even in this material world, when you engage in devotion service, there is pleasure. That pleasure in connection with Krishna is sustainable pleasure. It will sustain not only this life, even if it is through these material senses, still it is sustainable. It is eternal. The pleasure that in relationship with Krishna. So we don't say, yes, it is temporary pleasure, it is Maya. We call it as Mahamaya. But we don't want to get trapped into this. This Mahamaya's pleasure is there for you to know that there is pleasure. For you to know that in existence, somewhere, there is high quality pleasure. Varieties of pleasures. That is the Vaikuntha Loka. Oh, that is far away in Vaikuntha Loka. So, better I enjoy now what I have, what I get. So then our answer is, yeah, we are not saying don't enjoy. Enjoy. But understand that your body is limited. There are laws which govern this enjoyment. Material nature governs this enjoyment. Our scriptures also say dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Artha and kama is also there. Kama is there. Enjoy. Enjoy in an optimal way. Even now if I give you one full box of tin of rasgulla, how many you will eat? Suppose you say, no, I should enjoy, eat. Then you will have other problems. Isn't it? So, factually there is an optimal enjoyment for everything. At this particular point of time, in this particular circumstances, how much I should enjoy, what I should enjoy, what I should not enjoy. Do's and don'ts. In other words, pleasure is not free. In the material world, if you regulate the pleasure that you give to your body and your mind according to the way the Lord has designed, that means according to dharma. Every pleasure. We don't shun pleasure. If it is according to my karma, according to my destiny, that pleasure comes, one dovetails it and understands that this has to be regulated. And then one does not lose this vocabulary of variegatedness. Variegatedness, if you give up variegatedness, everything is Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, no existence has no variety. But the Vaishnava never, the impersonalists cleanse their head of all the variegatedness. It doesn't exist at all. But we understand that yes, in a perverted reflection, in that manner, everything is existing here, but in absolute sense, it does exist. There are beautiful resorts, there are beautiful life, there are beautiful families, there are beautiful relationships, there are loving relationships, there are wonderful things to eat, there are wonderful things to play, the wonderful games are there. Dancing is there, singing is there. Here in the Bindu Sarovar itself, you can see all these things so nicely described. But then, it's all like will of the wisp. How long the cuckoos will sing? They will die. Everybody has to die. Trees, they have their fixed life. In this material world, such situations are created. It's said here that, see, law of karma is what determines all these things. There are pious trees, pious creepers, pious animals and birds which uttered various cries. You see, maybe there will be a pious human being, nice human being. So many nice punya must be in his subtle body, in his account. But somehow certain things which he has to enjoy can be enjoyed only in a bird's body. Then you get birth as a bird, then you become a pious bird. Of course, a crow is not a pious bird. A soul is in the crow's body, not for piety, for papa. A soul is an elephant's body it's a pious body. Pious life. Pious life means all animal. Lower than 4 lakh species, 84 lakh species. The consciousness is less than the 4 lakhs. Underdeveloped. Among them, in certain bodies, their piety is manifesting. Their pious credits are manifesting. So they are called pious animals. Pious animals and birds which uttered various cries. So in the material world, if you are a pious human being and you deserve to have a pious enjoyment in a lake like Bindu Sarovara, then the nature arranges in such a way that the pious animals are there, pious birds are there, pious creepers are there, everything is there. The entire atmosphere is sattvic. So this is what happens in the heavenly planets also. So wonderful is the creation, the Lord's creation. And here somehow, because it is directly Vishnu is connected and Kardama Muni is a devotee of the Lord, and this situation is created by the blessings of Lord Vishnu who appeared before Kardama Muni. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying, every tree bore fruits and flowers and every bird sang the glories of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When you are pious, you glorify the Lord. If you're not pious, you cannot glorify the Lord. So what it means here is that everything there was aware of Krishna, they were Krishna conscious. The atmosphere there was Krishna conscious. Bindu Sarovara. And therefore, the birds were singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Birds were singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra means every glorification is included in it. Every shloka of glorification of Vishnu is included in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare, Krishna and Rama are the 3 sounds which are the most pregnant sounds, the sounds which are most pregnant with glorification of the qualities of the Lord. From the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all shlokas can come out into your heart. Every shloka of Bhagavatam can come out of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Every quality of the Lord can come out of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Ananda Chinmaya Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Ananda Chinmaya. So everything is the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra contains everything. That is the reason why when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when you hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when you give your mind to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, automatically Ananda radiates into your mind. That Ananda, in the material world, we get a lot of pleasure because of this. If I ask you, you drank something and you felt good about it, I ask you, why did you feel happy? Because that was very tasty. Like that, you see, anything that you feel good, you feel happy, you ask somebody, you will find a reason. Yeah. I was struggling for money, suddenly somebody came and gave me money, I became happy. So just see, the mind can experience two kinds of happiness. One is its own constitutional happiness, another is conditional happiness. Because of this, I am happy. Because of this, I am happy. Because of this, I am happy. But there is another unconditional happiness. Not I am happy, I am feeling happy, not because of anything. What is that happiness? That is your original happiness, constitutional happiness. That constitutional happiness is infused by Hare Krishna mantra. No reason is required. If you simply hear nicely Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you can experience our constitutional ananda, constitutional peace, constitutional happiness. Again, as I said, we have to become sensitive. Only if you become sensitive, you can sense sensitive things. I gave you the example of the tongue. You have to become sensitive. Similarly, you have to become sensitive to experience our constitutional, unconditional joy or happiness, which is the Satchidananda of the soul. We have to become sensitive. Because we are not sensitive, that is why we are not able to experience that Ananda when we chant Hare Krishna. Does not matter what the Shastra says, you chant Hare Krishna now. Now the stage one is what? The Hare Krishna Mahamantra will make you sensitive. That is called Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It will purify your heart, and then you will become sensitive to experience the unconditional joy of your mind. When you start experiencing that, you don't need anything else. You say, every day I just have to chant my rounds, that's all. The whole day you are happy. You don't look for anything tomorrow, day after, nothing. You have no tomorrow at all. This tomorrow is a big illusion. Because tomorrow, again, another tomorrow will come. Another tomorrow will come. What is so great about, today is what? 26th. Now, what is so great about 27th July, which was different from yesterday? How was 26th July different? Same thing, 27th July, 28th July, go on like that. So why we are always looking for tomorrow? Everything is finished here. Self-realization is over. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Past is over, future is over, just here, that's all. Hare Krishna. Why do you think time is moving? Because things are changing. Yesterday you came, sat in the class, you must have sat in a different place. Today you are sitting in a different place. So you say it is different. Configuration is different, but you are all sitting. Okay, today I am speaking something else, yesterday I spoke something else. So some difference is there. So two ways of seeing time. One is, you are static. You mean the soul is static. And material nature is going on, changing in front of you, which is what you call it as time. What is the other thing? You also go into the material nature and you move with that. Oh, that was yesterday, then tomorrow, what will happen after 5 years, what will happen for 10 years, what will happen for 15 years. You cannot solve your problem because you cannot it's not enough to solve your 15 years problem. If at all you really want to solve the problem, you solve your eternal problem. Solve your problem 15 years from now, solve your problems 20 years from now, give an answer for your problems 100 years from now, give an answer to your problem after you leave this body, give an answer. So why try? Just surrender to Krishna. Then you can become free from material time. You deal with the material energy as a moving material. Time is an objective factor outside you. Just like space is outside you, time is outside you and it is moving, but you are staying. You don't have to move. Your body may be moving today to tomorrow and it will be moving, but you don't have to move. Where do we have to stay? Yeah, that is a big question. Everything is material space and everything. Where is my steady position? Okay, I don't have to move. In which time I should stay, in which space I will stay. Okay, space, every space is material creation, is changing. Every time is changing. Okay, I am aware of this change. Then where is my unchanging position, unchanging time? Where is that? That is at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is at where is that permanent activity? Where is that permanent position? Where is that permanent time? That is, soul should simply be engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This Lord's name, this transcendental sound vibration is the only vibration that coexists in material dimension, gross dimension, subtle dimension, spiritual dimension. Coexist simultaneously. So you want to move. Suppose you are stuck in the gross body concept. Then to move to the subtle body concept is to move through the holy name, chanting Hare Krishna. You want to move from the material consciousness to the spiritual dimension. The passage is again through Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalau nastyeva, ghatiranyata. Hare Nam, the holy name. This sound vibration is not ordinary. The Lord Himself. This sound I make, this exists only in the gross dimension. Hare Krishna exists in gross dimension, subtle body dimension, spiritual dimension also. Simultaneously existing. When you chant Hare Krishna, when you say Krishna Nama, Krishna, you say, that is not only existing here. It is simultaneously vibrating with the same quality in the subtle as well as in the spiritual dimension. But unless we become sensitive, unless our spiritual senses become sensitive, awakened and sensitive, you cannot hear that transcendental plain Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You cannot. We can hear only the Hare Krishna that is incarnated here. Just like unless you become transcendentally sensitive, you cannot see the transcendental beauty of the deity. You have to be satisfied with what your gross eyes can appreciate the beauty. That's all. But it exists. In the deity, the transcendental form of the Lord is existing. And the whole process is purification. By purification, then our experience transcends material experience. Any questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, as he said, we should be happy in the present by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But if a devotee thinks that I am under a lot of impurities, a lot of anarthas are there, that's why I am suffering, and he constantly thinks that I am suffering. So how he should come out of that? He is not able to be in present and chant. He is always thinking that because of my anartha I am suffering, and he always stays in that negativity of life.
The whole idea is anarthas, all these things, it's a different way of seeing it, that's all. If you live in the present, still you can see anarthas. You can see the anarthas. Anarthas are, you take it out of your system. Anarthas are outside you. It is in your body, it's in your mind. Prabhupada says, just like we are like pure water. When it falls down and it becomes muddy. When it becomes muddy, actually the water does not become muddy. Experientially it is muddy water. But substantially water is water. Similarly, I may have anarthas. These anarthas are all residing where? In the subtle body, not in you. Not in you. So, you see that as existing. And so it is the change in the situation, that's all. It's not that you are changing. Your situation is changing from anartha situation to a less anartha situation. As I said, you see time outside you, not that you're not seeing time. You should not mistake. Kala is a reality. You're seeing time outside. See, this is a transcendental way of so many modern self-help books that talk about being here and now, and they don't understand this. That is a vimukta maninaha, as Prabhupada says. You imagine yourself to be in present. But our philosophy is not saying that. You please witness. You see Kala, material energy, Kala is moving. But why should you move with Kala? You are not matter. Why should you move with Kala? So then you become empowered to, when you see something subtle, then you can manage it. If you don't see, you cannot manage it. When you see your mind, you can manage your mind. When you see your emotions, you can manage your emotions. When you see the material energy with time and everything, then you can manage it. Anything you become aware of it, you get empowered to manage it. Managing means what? Free will. If you don't know, if you don't have access to something, how will you use your free will? Free will is just like, if I have my hand, I can take it and move it and separate it, put this kartal here, rearrange it, all those things. I can bring wood and I can rearrange it, make a box, all these things. This is, I can do with my free will. But I can do all this provided I see the wood. Then I can pick it up, bring and do everything. Similarly, inside our head is a mess full of anarthas. We have to see that. We have to see that means, how do you see that? Your consciousness has to become fine. That seeing also, the power for seeing that is also coming from Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The tool is given, sensitivity is created, then you can experience living in the present. There is nothing like tomorrow for me. What is there? Because this tomorrow keeps driving you mad. That is called Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, na sochati, na kankshati. Over, matter is over, self-realization is over. I found who is God, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. I surrendered to Him. What is there? Nothing else. I have to do service, that's all. And I'm not going to do service for something to achieve in future. It is my constitutional position to do service. Ho gaya, I serve, that's all. Not to achieve anything, just to please the Lord. That is my position. Everything I have attained. I need to only continuously serve the Lord. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.